What we're not going to do on this podcast, if you're tuning in going, Kyle, Chris, the Seahawks won, so the 49ers control their own destiny. They could be the 1 seed. Not so fast. Not on this show. Because we don't overlook anyone. We are focused. We are dialed in. All on that blue horseshoe. This is week 16. All of our focus is on Phillip Rivers, Jonathan Taylor, DeForest Buckner, and that group over there in Indianapolis. You will not catch us slipping. Not even a little bit.
Of course not. Because what happens is anytime there's any media people or anybody on Twitter or anyone podcasting and they jump ahead without focusing on the task at hand, then that's exactly what the team does. The team's direction is pointed by podcasters. So it's our job to make sure the team is focused on this week and not to ever talk about the bigger picture.
Like, fan how you fan. It's your right to do whatever you want. But here's the reality of this. When people say that, because I do think it's kind of interesting, because I posted this bit on the internet today, which is a mistake. And I was like, you guys are talking about the number 1 seed in a week 18 matchup, but I'm focused on the Colts, but I guess I'm just built diff. #focus. Like, what I thought was clearly a joke. A lot of people didn't take it as a joke. And I think as I was reading some of these responses from people, I think the whole, like, don't overlook anybody thing is, like, self-coping. It's the idea that, like, your mindset, and I get this, like, I've done this and I do this when it's trying to get your own brain to be like, if I don't overlook the Colts, then obviously it means the 49ers, the team, isn't overlooking the Colts. And I just want to make sure that everybody is on that page. And if somebody's not, it worries me that that the team might think that way. Like, it's just a self-soothing mechanism over the anxiety, excitement, whatever it is that a sports fan feels going into a game. I think that's all it is. And it's not a bad thing. It's just hilarious, and I'm going to make fun of it.
Right.
It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad fan. It's just really funny that when Chris and I talk about that Bears matchup's going to be tough before the Colts game, and we get lectured about, like, can't overlook anybody in this league. Like, all right, man.
Right. We don't play for the team. It is not our job to, in fact, prepare at nearly the same level as the players who are playing the Colts this week, right?
Right.
I think it's fans kind of setting themselves up for, like, the disappointment of potentially losing to the Colts, because you can talk yourself into, man, 1 seed, like, who would have saw this coming? And rightfully so. Like, without all the crazy stuff that's happened to the 49ers this year, the fact that they have the 1 seed is still in play days before Christmas is insane. But I could also see the fan that's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about that too much.
Sure.
Because if and when they lose to the Colts, like, all that talk is over, and then we'll feel really stupid for devoting so much time and energy to the 1 seed.
I asked this question on my radio show today on ESPN 1320, Sacramento Sports Leader. And I'm interested in your thoughts on it. Would it be a disappointment if the 49ers don't end up as the 1 seed? Like,
No.
Would it feel a little disappointing? Because let me lay this out.
I mean, it depends on how it happens.
That's it. Okay, that's it. Because that's where I landed. If they lose to Indianapolis, if they lose out, it's not a disappointment. If they beat Indianapolis but lose to Chicago, then lose to Seattle, like, it's not a... But if they win their next 2, and they go into week 18 where it's like win and you're the 1 seed, and you lose to Seattle at home, I have a really hard time believing that the vast majority of the fan base is going to be like, hey, you know what? It's fine. weren't even supposed to be here anyway, so this is great. If you were 1 win away from the 1 seed, I think there'd be like a more than a tinge of disappointment.
Yeah. So I think 49ers fans are kind of unique in terms of the way they handle expectations with this team because of what the 80s and 90s were. Right? Like it's Super Bowl or bust the majority of the time, whereas so many other fan bases would just be happy to like, oh, can this young quarterback develop? Oh, can we get to the playoffs? Can we build a roster that looks like something that could be successful and sustainable for the next 3, 4, 5 years, right? That's what where a lot of fan bases are coming from. The 49er fan has a unique experience of like, no, we have to win Super Bowls because that's what the expectation is for this franchise after the greatness of the 80s and 90s. And after, what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, like their talking points, they kind of talk about, Super Bowl or bust a lot of the times when it comes to expectations. So I get that. But at the same time, I think it would be completely unrealistic to expect this team with, the Niners have what, like a 21%. You look around the internet for the probability models, you have like a 21% chance of getting the 1 seed, right? So I have a hard time being like, oh man, what a failure, what a disappointment it would be if they don't get it, when it's really a 1 in 4, 1 in 5 chance that they do get it. But it also depends on how it happens. Like if they have a lead and then they have 3 turnovers in the second half to the Seahawks and they lose out on the 1 seed that way, and then they lose in the first round of the playoffs by having to go wherever they need to go, like that would be super disappointing.
Sure.
But like it would also be kind of disappointing if they were the 1 seed, they had the bye, and then someone came to Levi's in the divisional round and just smoked them.
It's a great point. We call that the Detroit Lions move.
I honestly like getting the 1 seed and not getting to the Super Bowl, I think might be more disappointing than being a wild card team and not getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's right. Just in general, like in a vacuum, yeah. It's just weird with this Niners team because they keep defying expectation, and so the expectation moves, the proverbial goalposts move. And right now, I agree. I think I agree with you. The Bears, I don't know if they're better than the 49ers, but they might be. Like the Bears might just beat the 49ers, and this might all be moot. Week 18 might be moot. Seattle, I think, is better than the 49ers right now. But that doesn't mean the 49ers can't beat them. I think they certainly can. But when you look at those 2 games, it's like, all right, given that the 49ers won 10, and you need to get to 11 to make the playoffs, you make the playoffs this year, like that would be a good year. But again, it's that expectation change. If they handle business against the Colts, because we're not overlooking the Colts, that's not what's happening in this conversation. But if they handle business against the Colts, and then if they beat the Bears, I don't think they would do this, but if they beat the Bears 31-10 on Sunday Night Football, short week for the Niners, extra day of rest for the Bears, and they just stuff the Bears in a locker, I think there would be a lot of people going into that Week 18 game like, this might be the best team in the NFC. I think that would, because that's just kind of what keeps happening. And so I think we can revisit this after the game. If they bury the Colts, we'll discuss it again. Or if they play a close game against the Colts, if they play the Colts the way the Seahawks did and beat them on a last second field goal because they turned the ball over a bunch of times, well, maybe they're not as good as we thought. But the fact that we're even having the conversation is kind of insane, considering I thought their season was over when Nick Bosa got hurt, and then I thought it was over again when Fred Warner got hurt. And now they're 10-4.
That's fair. So, I mean, I guess we have to say that. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the standings just to double check this. So the Niners haven't beaten a team that's currently in the playoffs since they beat the Rams in early October, which is 2.5 months ago.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that my thing with the Niners is just always kind of going back to the schedule. Like they've played since that Rams win, they've played 2 playoff teams, Tampa and the Rams again. Carolina's not in it, but they beat Carolina. And they lost to Houston and they lost to the Rams like pretty decidedly in both of those games, albeit with Mac Jones at quarterback in Houston. And actually, no, Mac played against the Rams, right? That was his last game before Brock came back. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I think this game will be interesting because it'll be a tough spot for the Niners going to Indianapolis. Indianapolis is going to be super desperate, having lost 4 games in a row. Phillip Rivers giving them a little bit of juice coming back. But my thing with the 49ers is like, how good are they against good teams? Because I feel like the offense is good enough to where they can beat bad teams. I think they've proven they have no problem beating bad teams and beating bad quarterbacks.
Yep.
But we haven't seen them beat a good team in a really long time. And so I'm not sure that this version of the Colts is a good team. But that's sort of framing my expectations. Like, sure, beating the Bears would be good. I'm not a huge Caleb guy, but like maybe he's taking a step this year. And maybe he's going to be a good player going forward. I haven't really seen that from him to feel like confident in that. But the point is like my expectations are not like, oh man, Niners are going to look like the best team in the NFC. I was like, they haven't really beaten anybody. And I've pushed back on that narrative in the past. Like 2019, they didn't beat anybody. But that team was actually dominant, right?
That's
like on both sides of the ball. Like the Niners are beating up on a bunch of bad teams, but they're not really like a dominant outfit right now, particularly defensively.
Right.
So that's kind of the issue I have with expectations. It's like my expectations aren't really that high because I don't think they're as good as their record says they are. And that's not like, I don't think they're like not a playoff team. I think they're definitely a playoff team. And I think the season they've had is super impressive, but I'm not like, I don't think they'll beat the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are drastically better. And I think the game will probably look kind of similar to that Rams game a few weeks ago. Although maybe the 49ers offense is significantly better because they have Brock Purdy back instead of Mac Jones.
Also, Sam Darnold in a big spot throwing like a bad interception would not stun me.
Right. And that might be more of a Sam Darnold thing, not a how good are the 49ers thing.
Agreed. I was talking about this on the radio on ESPN 1320. We were talking about every team in the NFC. Part of the reason the NFC feels so wide open is because every team has a loss that you look at it and you go, ew. The Rams beat the hell out of the 49ers. The Niners beat the hell out of the Panthers. And then the Rams went to Carolina and lost to Carolina. And you've got Seattle struggling with the Colts, and it feels like every NFC team, every good NFC team has these weird games. The Niners don't. I don't think the Niners have a bad loss this year. But to your point, their losses are 5 points to the Jags, playoff team. They lost by 11 to Tampa Bay, playoff team. They lost by 11 to Houston, playoff team. They lost by 16 to the Rams, playoff team. Like, it's not certain that Tampa Bay is a playoff team yet, but that's a separate conversation. But I think the Niners version of that is, I don't think they have a great win either. Like, and I mean that the Rams win on Thursday Night Football in Week 5 was an incredible win, really, really good win. But like we talked about during that stretch of games, I didn't learn anything about the Niners. They were just surviving at that point. There's no Juwan Jennings, no George Kittle, no Ricky Pearsall. Brock Purdy was out. Nick Bosa had just gotten hurt. It's like, man, they are just keeping their heads above water and until they get healthy. We know nothing about this team. And so that's a really good win, but it's not a win that I go back to when I'm trying to stack up the 49ers against the rest of the NFC. I don't circle that one and go, look, they are this level of team. And we were a bad Sean McVay play call away from the Rams coming all the way back and winning that game. And maybe then we're circling that one as a bad loss. Like, you were up 2 touchdowns and you smoked that one. So the 49ers have earned the hell out of their 10-4 record. They've taken care of business. They're not a bad team by any stretch. And if you want to make the argument that, well, they can go into any playoff game and win, I agree. I think that's right. I don't think any team is going to want to play San Francisco. But on the other hand, I don't think San Francisco, unless they get the 1 seed and they're at home, I don't think they're going to go on the road and necessarily be favored against anybody. I think a lot of people are going to be picking them to win.
Yeah.
It's partly because of that resume.
The strength of the 49ers is their resume. It's their coaching staff. It's their veteran players. It's the fact that I think I saw a graphic on social media over the last few days that since 2010, the Niners have 13 playoff wins, and it's third in the entire NFL over that span. Wow. And a bunch of those, of course, have come with Kyle Shanahan as head coach. Mm-hmm. Like, Kyle Shanahan knows how to win playoff games. He's a great coach when it comes to getting to the playoffs and winning playoff games. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Super Bowl is a different discussion, but that's where like teams fear, not, I don't want to say fear, but like if you're a team and you don't want to play the 49ers, that's why. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, I don't want to see that guy in the playoffs. Like, he's going to do some crazy schematic stuff. They're going to be super well prepared. Robert Saleh, even though he has like not a whole lot of talent left on defense, like is still going to bring a really sound plan. Like, they play with toughness. They have Christian McCaffrey, like all this stuff. And that stuff absolutely matters. And I'm not poo-pooing the idea of the 49ers making a deep playoff run. I'm just not going to be like terribly disappointed when they don't get the when they don't get the 1 seed and then they lose somewhere in the playoffs, or they do get the 1 seed and then some other team comes in and wins in Levi's Stadium. Like, I just think that what they're doing is super impressive. Mm-hmm. And what impresses me is how difficult it is, like, to win with this type of defense. And I just don't think this defense can hold up in the playoffs. And I kind of expect it to look like what the Houston game was, or what the second Rams game was, or potentially what this Week 18 Seattle game will be. Like, that's, you know, and that's not to say, like, I just think the 49ers are kind of the team that's like punching above its weight a little bit. They're benefiting from the schedule. Mm-hmm. And I think the better way to look at this team is like, man, they're the underdog. Let's play with house money. Let's not like, oh, we came in with Super Bowl expectations. It's like, yeah, maybe with Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and Brandon Ayuk, but like those are 3 of like the highest paid guys at their position in the NFL, and you're not going to have any of them most likely unless Fred Warner comes back.
Right.
Which seems, I don't know. We'll see.
I want to talk about a potential Fred Warner return. And I want to talk about some potential good news for the 49ers defense. But we can do that after we take a quick break. Candlestick Chronicles is brought to you by Lamb Chops. SGLambchops.com. I was waiting for you to pull the website up on YouTube. That's
sure.
right.
I was forgetting I was forgetting where we started exactly.
I jumped the gun. SGLambchops.com is the website. Lamb Chops is the official clothing brand of this podcast. Their their fall 2025 line is out now. That knit sweater is gas. It's on sale, which is incredible. And while you're there picking up that awesome fall line, hit that search button and search Candlestick, and you'll get that Candlestick Chronicles t-shirt. You'll see that Candlestick Chronicles hoodie. Cop that for yourself, and then get one for each 49er fan in your life. It's the best way to go this holiday season at Lamb Chops. Use promo code Candlestick20 when you check out for 20% off of your order at Lamb Chops. Lamb Chops, join the herd.
Candlestick Chronicles is also brought to you by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports. Bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, it's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize Picks. I'm hoping to be right this week with a 5-pick flex play for the 49ers and Colts game. You can see it on our screen if you are watching on our YouTube page, which we greatly appreciate. Please subscribe. Phillip Rivers and or Joe Biden. Prize Picks makes it a little tough to decipher who it is. It's Phillip Rivers. I think they just have Joe Biden as his picture, which is funny. But I'm going fewer than 157.5 passing yards for Phillip Rivers. Brock Purdy, I'm going more than 243.5 passing yards. George Kittle, I'm going more than 66.5 receiving yards. Jonathan Taylor, I'm going more than 98.5 rushing yards. We'll talk about this 49ers run defense here in a second. Brian Robinson, I just don't think he's going to get on the field enough to reach his number, so I'm going fewer than 22.5 rushing yards for Brian Robinson. You can ride with me, you can fade me, but no matter what you do, please download the PrizePicks app today and use code Candlestick to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code Candlestick to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
I have some good news about the 49ers run defense, or potentially good news.
What's that?
Eric Kendricks back practicing.
Great.
He had 148 tackles for the Cowboys last year in 15 games. He run around and tackles with people. I don't think he can cover anymore. He can run around and get some stops. Here's the thing. Their run defense has been really, really rough since Tatum Bethune went down. It's been significantly worse since Tatum Bethune went down.
It's really hard to replace Tatum Bethune.
I mean, yeah, it's tough to beat him out, you know. And we can talk about the Tatum Bethune Fred Warner camp battle, you know, when we get there. But for now, joking. For now, it's like, God bless Curtis Robinson. He's trying, but Curtis Robinson is a special teams guy for a reason. I don't think the 49ers are in a spot where they want Curtis Robinson playing a ton of snaps at the Mike linebacker spot. And I don't think it's a huge coincidence that since he's stepped in, the 49ers run defense has really, really struggled. And they've had issues. They've had injuries on the defensive line as well. Like, it's not just him, but I think when you're looking for fixes, I think at some point, like, there's a requisite level of quality of player you need. And I don't know that he matches it. And so you've got Tatum Bethune, who's working his way back from the ankle injury. He's been limited the first 2 days of practice. We're recording this Friday night. He's been limited the first couple days of practice. That, I think, will help. But if he can't play, if Eric Kendricks can go, if you can bring him up for a game or two and just bring that bar of play up in the middle of your front seven up a little bit. If his experience can give you anything, plus Yetur Gross-Matos looks like he's going to be coming back soon. Jordan Elliott was upgraded on Friday from a non-participant to a limited participant. He tweaked his knee before the Titans game. Sam Okuwanu is on his way back. Like, they're starting to get some depth. And again, not that these players are going to get them over the top and they're going to be a top 5 defense now. But when the quality of player you're dealing with is already low, and then you have to start digging into the depth chart behind those players, I think the drop-off is really, really steep. So, I don't think it's going to be like the Niners are going to have a top 5 run defense all of a sudden, but can they get a little bit better where they're not giving up 5.4 yards a carry, which is what I think they're doing over the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, I don't think the 49ers are going to solve their run defense with individual players and who's playing, whether it's Tatum Bethune or Eric Kendricks. I think it's going to be up to Robert Saleh in the scheme, because I think there's like the floor. Here's what I mean. If you're playing 9 and 10 guys in the box, I don't think you need those dudes to be super talented individually to stop the run. If you're playing light boxes and you're playing 6 men in the box, then you're relying heavily on talent. And because the Colts are not going to be able to throw the ball down the field. I don't know if you watched much of Phillip Rivers last week. I watched him today. I wouldn't say his performance in Seattle was a laser show.
I've never watched a football game. I watched a little bit of it. I haven't watched the whole thing, and I've only watched the TV tape, just to keeping it completely clear. I've not grinded the all-22 yet. I don't think I've ever watched an offense where the initial shot, like the down the line of scrimmage, balls being snapped, television shot, didn't need to move when they threw a pass. It was like, yeah, it's all happening. You guys see it.
I would be stunned if they're pushing the ball down the field with any sort of regularity with Phillip Rivers at quarterback. So the point being, I would expect the 49ers run defense to be a little bit better, just because schematically they're going to condense the line of scrimmage and condense the box with so many more bodies that, like, when you're doing that, you don't rely on individual talent to stop the run as much as you would otherwise. Like, that's kind of like one of the many differentiators with Fred Warner. It's like, Yeah, you can be a nickel and have only 2 linebackers back there, and you're still going to have a hard time running the ball because Fred Warner's that good.
Right.
But
Right.
because of the Colts passing game being what it is, and it's not going to be a downfield aerial assault, I think the Niners are going to load up the box with 9 or 10 guys, whether it's Tatum Bethune or Eric Hendricks at linebacker. And then they should have a decent chance at playing better against the run. I don't know that the Niners run defense, like you said, is going to be good necessarily, but I think it should be better than it was against the Titans. And like, man, looking at the numbers, the Titans, I just had this up. The Titans the Titans top 2 running backs had 7.2 and 11.3 yards per contact
God
on average.
Damn.
On Sunday, which is
Yards
bad.
before contact?
Yards before contact.
Oh my God.
So match the eye test. But like I don't anticipate that being the case. I also don't anticipate the Niners like getting up big and then like because I don't take a ton away. Like the 49ers run defense has been bad. But I don't take a ton away from the run defense being bad in a game where you're up by 3 scores at one point. If that makes sense. Like, obviously, it's still a concern, and Jonathan Taylor might be the best running back in football right now.
Sure.
But if it's a close game and you're able to play 9 and 10 in the box, not like, okay, we're up 3 scores and we're going to play super light boxes and we're expecting them to throw it downfield and then they run the ball a bunch, which is what happened against Tennessee. Like, I think the run defense has a chance to be better, but again, it's going to be about schematics. It's not going to be about who's playing middle linebacker, in my opinion. Maybe I'll be wrong, but that's just my thought.
Speaking of how the 49ers can or should play Indianapolis, I think we're going to see a ton of heavy boxes because I think they're going to be fine going, all right, Diamador Lenore and Alec Pierce and Renardo Green and Michael Pittman. And if Phillip Rivers is going to beat us over the top, then you tip your cap because I'm looking at Phillip Rivers' passing numbers and these match the eye test. Phillip Rivers against Seattle. He dropped back. Standby. Did you look at his numbers already?
I didn't look at the hashtag metrics.
Okay, great. No, perfect.
Yet,
I'm glad.
Okay.
I didn't want
Great.
you to. He attempted 25 passes. How many of those passes do you think were 10 or more yards beyond the line of scrimmage out of 25?
Two.
Oh, no, not that many. No. 8. 8 of his 25 passes. How many of those 8 do you think he completed? Again, these are throws 10 or more yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Phillip Rivers against the Seattle Seahawks. He threw 8 of them. How many did he complete?
3.
2. 2 of 8 with an interception on throws 10 or more yards down the field. What do we think? Let me get this real quick. What do we think Phillip Rivers' average depth of target was against the Seattle Seahawks?
It was like 3 point something, wasn't it?
Not quite. It was 5.2.
Okay.
And I think that's buoyed by a desperation heave on the last drive. 5.2 average depth of target.
Aesthetically, it was not like, okay, here was kind of the way I thought about it when I was watching Phillip Rivers. Do you remember how during Justin Fields' pro day, everyone was like, oh my God, look at his arm strength. Look at his mobility. Look at the athleticism. And people were just freaking out about the raw skills. This was the exact opposite. This was Phillip Rivers looks like he could have been drinking PBR last weekend.
Dude,
like
he looked like the scene in Wedding Crashers when they play football.
Yes.
It looked like that.
Yeah.
Hot route.
And I don't know if he's got like, because they have like the rib protector, the rib pads. I couldn't tell if he was just like really top heavy or if he had like a big like protection system on his ribs or if it was both. it wasn't.
As Teddy Roosevelt once said, "Por qué no los dos?"
For sure. I put it this way: if we watched Phillip Rivers with the same type of eye that we watch draft prospects, this is not a draftable player.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick. I don't want to get into a long discussion about this. You have to win a game for $1 million right now. Are you starting Phillip Rivers or Justin Fields?
Oh God. I mean, I'm gonna do the terrible thing. What's the rest of my team look like? No, I'm gonna say it's
league
Phil
average
Rivers.
offense, league average defense.
Yeah, but can we run the ball? Like, dude, no, I don't. I'm gonna say Phil Rivers.
What's our average yards before contact?
Right. I was like, do we have like a nasty O line? Can we do some like quarterback run stuff with Justin? Can we just like throw for 100 yards and win with defense?
Yeah, defensively, we're running a 3-4 or 4-3. Like, what's
my team's identity, Kyle? That's what I need to know.
And the locker room chemistry. Have we been together for a few years? Or are we just starting out?
Right. Are we early in the season? Is it late? It's our injury status. It's so these questions are. I don't love these hypotheticals.
It's impossible to paint the full picture. Yeah, I see the path to the 49ers losing on Monday.
For sure.
It's very much there. It's very much the Jonathan Taylor runs for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Alec Pierce catches a 3rd and long, and the Niners turn it over a couple times, and it's just kind of a disaster. But I also think that I don't want to say they're immune to a trap game, but I think they all know what this is. Like, they all know that their margin for error is very, very slim.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're in a spot because I saw some people worried about a trap game against Tennessee. It's like, that wouldn't be the trap. This would be the one. It's Phillip Rivers on the road in prime time, and you're looking ahead to the Bears, and you're looking ahead to Seattle. But I don't think that this group is going to be susceptible to that, just given the nature of where the roster is and the fact they've been kind of scratching and clawing all year, even though their record is 10-4. So I think they win, and I think they cover. I think 6.5 was the last. That's
a lot of points.
Spread I saw. They need to win by a touchdown.
That's a lot of points. So I think this is essentially the Colts season. Like, they've lost 4 in a row. Are they eliminated if they lose this game? I think they might be. Or they're very close to getting eliminated if not. So
yeah, the AFC South is 10-4 is the Colts. So I think they'd still technically be in, but man, losing a 5th game in a row to fall 2 games back with 2 to play would be brutal.
Right. So I think it would be like the Colts are going to come with a lot of intensity. And I would be surprised if the 49ers took them lightly. Look, the bottom line here, like, I know people are listen to this and probably think I just shit on the 49ers for the first half of this podcast. That wasn't necessarily my intent. It was just about like the circumstances of the season and the injuries impacting my expectations. If you want to be the 1 seed, you go win this game. You go kick the shit out of the Colts.
Yeah, exactly. 5.5 points, by the way.
Yeah, like if you're a 5.5 point favorite on the road, like you are expected to win the game, and you are considered the significantly better team. And so, if you want to be the 1 seed, like forget trap game, forget any of that. Like handle business, because that's what you should do against a 44-year-old quarterback, regardless of the level of desperation the Colts are playing with. So, yeah, like I think the 49ers are going to be fired up. I do think there's an element of like, I mean, I absolutely think that like the game, the Seahawks-Rams game and keeping the 1 seed alive for the Niners should give them some extra juice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
playing on Monday
absolutely.
night should give them some juice. Like they can use the whole thing. Like everyone's talking about the Rams and the Seahawks, and like nobody's really talking about us because of all the injuries and everyone's just. But like we're still here. Like we went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. We've gone on a bunch of deep playoff runs. Like we should not be taken super lightly. So this is like a very much a handle business game, and I think the Bears game next week will be similar. And like I think the 49ers would gain some equity from me if they do start winning games in tough spots, because it just feels like, all right, they've won all the games they're essentially supposed to win.
Yeah.
But to me, losing like they did to Houston, losing like they did to Tampa, losing like they did the second time to the Rams is like, all right, so you can beat up on the bad teams. Can you beat a good team in a tough spot? And I don't think Indianapolis is necessarily a great team right now, but it's going to be a tough spot because of the level of desperation that the Colts are playing with. And so, yeah, you want to be the one seed, go win that game. Handle business.
Man. The 4-game stretch they just went through where it was Cardinals, Browns, Panthers, Browns, Titans was you win 4, you put yourself in a great spot.
Yeah.
They did that. And now the Niners are winning in. They win on Monday, they're in the playoffs.
That's crazy.
That wild. So yeah, I expect them to go handle business. I think this is where Kyle Shanahan is very good, is where I think Robert Saleh is very good. And I think it's just kind of where this group is going to be at their best.
Colts have a 12% chance at getting to the playoffs.
Ooh.
Niners have a 98% chance of getting to the playoffs.
Love that desperation. All right, that's it. That's all I got. We'll do a live show after the game on Monday? ?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We'll talk about the timing offline. It might be a little bit later than normal because of your boy's back in the 49ers content game outside of podcasting. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Right. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Candlestick Chronicles Podcast, or just search Candlestick Chronicles on YouTube. We pop up right there. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified when we go live, which you do after every game. It's Candlestick Chronicles. Shout out to Cooperage Brewing, CooperageBrewing.com. Yes. Order a case of beer there. They'll send it to your front door if you're 21 and up and in the state of California. I recommend all of their beers. I've literally never had a bad beer there, but of course, the Candlestick Chronicles Hazy IPA is where you're going to want to live. Now you're probably going to the playoffs. Get a bunch of those ready for your watch parties, or to bring it to a watch party and be the star in somebody else's home. That's always a huge victory. So shout out to Cooperage.
Go to one of the Cooperage locations in Santa Rosa on Monday night and just watch the game there, and you'll have enough time to try all of their delicious beer, including Candlestick Chronicles Hazy IPA.
And then order a case of your favorite.
Yeah. the one on Ross Street downtown, the location. Incredible vibes, incredible spot. A great place to watch a 49ers game. So go do that. Bring your friends, bring your dog, bring your kids. Breweries, big baby.
Just
baby
love
places.
Baby's brewery, Baby's beer, and ball. Come on.
That's what it's all about.
Shout out to Cooperage Brewing. Shout out to Al Roker. See you next time.
See you.